Alright, hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this video. Today I would like to sum up my thoughts with regard to the overall Aptera showcase during CES. I will do this by breaking down what I thought of the vehicles themselves, the presenters and the people at the exhibit, and the exhibit itself overall. I have included a lot of pictures and videos and things showing specific aspects of the exhibit. So let's get started. The Aptera CES booth included the Exploded View that CPC put together and Apollo, which is the vehicle they put together to show off the full fit and finish of the three-wheeled autocycle. They also had Hermes, which was the test cycle vehicle that they used for showing people around town in the Aptera to get a feel for the driving experience. What I'm going to do here is go ahead and go through some of the pictures that stood out to me as really interesting. The first picture here is the back grille of the Aptera and the lighting fixture and the side view here. All of these things were very well put together, very seamless. This is the rain channels for the Aptera. I took a closer picture of these because they were just very interesting and fun to look at, especially with the carbon fiber, or rather the CFSMC component kind of glistening in the sun. It was pretty neat to see. I also got a close-up of the mechanism for the license plate that moves out of the way in order for you to show where to charge from. So I got the view of the screws here, and then I also got the undersided view and a bit of the charging port itself. As you can see, it is an AX connector. Yeah, you can see some screws and stuff in there as well, and the license plate for Aptera. There were some familiar elements as well. This trunk latch has been a thing for every single vehicle I've ever known or ever seen. This also works as the hood latch depending on the vehicle. My Acura outside actually has this as the front clasp for the hood. I also got a picture of the bunk space. It is hard to see in this picture, but it's actually a pretty decent size. You could definitely fit some of your charging components down there, like if you have a cable to plug into your wall outlet or something. The adapter for the Aptera, which they say they will include, would fit very nicely in that little space. This is a close-up of the speaker and the power outlet for the Aptera's interior. These are located in the rear cargo space on the right-hand side if you're looking at the vehicle from behind. This is a picture of the actual mechanism that will record the rear view camera's feed. This is what the screen in the Aptera will actually show when you are driving around and whatnot for your rear view. I also got a picture of this little bump. This appears to be the signal the signal lights for the Aptera, the amber signal lights. And if you guys are eagle-eyed and notice that this little protrusion exists, this is new to the PI builds of the Aptera. I believe this is an aerodynamic situation to help with moving the air around the suspension parts and things of that nature. It was there on both Apollo and Hermes, so yeah, there you go. The side lighting or the side light bar for the Aptera was actually pretty cool to see as well. It was very well put together, very seamless, and I couldn't see any of the connectors or anything like that. That was a theme kind of throughout the entire Aptera. There were very few connectors that you could actually see, and the ones that you could see, they were visible for a reason. Yeah, this little material, the bump material here, as mentioned by Aptera Owners Club, is very firm. Like, if you tried really hard, you could probably smush it, but I did not try very hard because I didn't want to break anything. It felt very sturdy. It felt like it was well connected. It felt like it fit, but it was also very, not squishy. So I'm assuming that is the case so that you can bump this thing around a couple of times before it actually pops off or rubs off, and give you a good way to get used to your Aptera. These little hooks in the cargo space in the back were for tying down your things. I believe the Aptera is going to include some kind of what do you call it? Some kind of ability to put like a rack or a net in the back as well, to kind of keep your groceries and things from moving around in the back, because there is so much space back there. One thing here that I noticed, the seam between the logo and the roof of the Aptera where the solar is a little bit wider than I was expecting it to be. And the mechanism for the actual door closing latch, it's not the latch, rather the door closing mechanism, you can see here, it swivels and this closes down and things like that, and these bumpers keep it from going down too far or act as a buffer between the door space, the door and the vehicle. You can also see some some foam pieces here to kind of keep the seal for the doors, to make sure that it doesn't leak or anything like that. And there's trim over here and all kinds of fun stuff there. You can also see the vent. If you guys remember the video that I made about the ride experience, Chris McCammon mentioned that there were a lot of vents. I just wanted to make sure that I got a couple of pictures of the vents during the time I was there. So this is one of the vents that he was talking about. This is another vent here, and then there's a vent down way at the bottom here that you can't see, that I couldn't actually get in the picture very well. So I took a zoomed out picture, and you can see the vent here for your feet, and there's another vent under there, and there's a vent in the, like he said, there's a lot of vents, and I just wanted to show the picture of all those vents. You can see a little CPC here, a little Easter egg for the door panels. Both sides of the Aptera have this in their door panel, like a little CPC imprint. You can see this the gas strut for the door. This is not gonna automatically open, but it does hold the door open once you push it a little bit after you've pulled the door handle. I also got the front view of that little nub that sticks up. I believe this will be visible from the back and the sides of the Aptera. One of the things that I was talking about a little while ago, and that I was a little bit concerned about, was that there was no amber light on the back of the Aptera. I think this will do a lot to assuage my concern in that regard, because you'll be able to see this with the little nub that sticks up from the back of the vehicle and from the sides. And a close-up picture of the suspension components. Yeah, this is a focused in view of one situation here, the joint. And I do not know what this hose goes to, but it looked really cool, so I got a close-up focus picture of that one. And then the steering situation there is also in focus. I like the fact that this is so simple, like two big chunks going toward the outside, because it minimizes aerodynamic drag and things of that nature by being a simple system. It is also worth mentioning that this same type of system is in most vehicles. It just has a lot more bars and knobs and stuff. So if I have the time, I'll put a picture of my car's suspension so you can actually see it in comparison to the Aptera, because there's a lot more bars and stuff. But if not, just take my word for it on that one, or if you feel the need, you can get under your own car and see how many different pieces and wires and cables and stuff actually go between your vehicle's tire and the actual car itself. So check that out when you got the time, and you'll see what I'm talking about, that this is a very simple, very elegant system. This is the support for the tire and the wheel hub and things like that. This was the close-up picture that they took of, this is a close-up of the component that they took a picture of, the cladding for the outside of the wheel pant. I will probably put the post here somewhere so you guys can actually see that, but yeah. This is the best picture I could get of the daytime running lamps on either side here, and of the actual headlamp here. The brights, or the high beams, are the ones that are turned off right here. You can see that they are a very slightly different shape from the main lamps in the headlight. The main lamps are square, and they project a square. Yeah, they project a square out, and whenever you combine those three squares, it makes the whole beam of the Aptera's headlight. The high beams, or so I'm told because I didn't actually get a picture of it, project a wider beam of light, and it projects both up and down, and so you have like a fan situation where the light's coming out and up and down, as opposed to more or less straight ahead boxes for the regular daytime running lamps. Sorry, for the regular headlights. All right, and I got a closer picture of the daytime running lamps and things like that because I was curious about the seams, and the seams are very small. Like, this picture makes them look bigger than they are. Like, I could not fit my pinky between the sections here. All right, and then this is the spot that I found the most exposed fasteners, which was the door latch. So yeah, you got all these screws here, and like I said, these were this was the component that had the most visible screws that I could find, besides the actual wheel pant. But the wheel pant, you had to open it to be able to see inside of there. So yeah, this is the largest number of exposed screws right next to each other. The center console is a very nice color. This picture does not do it justice. It is a rose gold situation, and I absolutely love it. The cork was firm and seemed like it was gonna stand the test of time when I was touching it. Let me see, the pedals. You'll notice the pedals are not the plus and minus yet. I'm hearing that the plus and minus pedals did not come in before they got to CES, so they had to put regular pedals there. I do not know if they've decided to stray away from the plus and minus pedals, because I did not ask that question specifically, but it seemed like the pedals that they are going to have will be the plus and minus in final production. The seam between the steering column and the screen here was pretty solid as well. It was very small, very difficult to find. Could not fit my pinky between that little spot right there. Yeah, just really good fit and finish. The seats were very well stitched. I got a close-up of the stitching. You can see that it went really blurry really fast because I got too close with the camera. So, you know, you can't see the whole thing, but down here at the bottom you can tell that it's a very succinct situation, like it's very well put together. I did the same thing for the back headrest. You can see where it's stitched around here and how solid it looks and how well it's put together and all that kind of stuff. Just the general fit and finish was really good. Oh, if you notice, this little cap here is a little bit different. I'm not sure why that is. I did not ask, but it is a little bit different than the pictures that they took of the washer fluid reservoir. And yeah, I'm a little bit curious about it, but I'm not too terribly concerned because it did actually fit on there and it stayed on. It seemed like it wasn't going to fall off or anything. And the windshield wiper, the wiper looks like it might have a tube here to spray the wiper fluid onto the windshield directly with the wiper, instead of putting the little sprayers down into the recess of the hood. They put it on top here. I think that is a much smarter idea, and it's a little bit more efficient, and it doesn't spray your fluid off of your car, which I assume would happen much worse because the Aptera's got that whole laminar flow thing happening. So there's good placement of the washer fluid and all that kind of jazz. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about in this particular section is the flaws that I saw. There were some flaws that were visible and that I did not know that they could be explained with, you know, just with just the questions that I asked. So I just wanted to point them out that I saw them, and not necessarily as a knock on Aptera, but as an opportunity to improve. I'm sure that the engineers all notice these things as well, but I just wanted to note that I noted them. So just giving you an outside perspective. All right, so first thing I noticed was this bit of wrinkling on the bed carpeting. It was not terribly noticeable without the camera, but it was noticeable enough that other people had come up to me and were like, is that supposed to be like that? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not. So yeah, this is one flaw that I definitely noticed that other people did notice as well, was the portion of the carpeting that is in the bed of the Aptera was crinkly. Another thing that I noticed was a little bit of delamination. Now, I found this bit before I actually got the chance to ask whether or not these were glass covered or plastic covered. Found out that these were plastic covered because the components for the glass had not come in before they had to go to CES. So these are their old lamination techniques, and you can see that there is still separation in their old lamination techniques, probably because they have the glass techniques that will eliminate this later on. So yeah, this was there. I kind of was wondering in my head whether or not somebody like accidentally bumped it against something, because this was the only spot that was delaminated like this. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask, and there's so many questions that I wanted to ask now that I'm looking at the footage that I didn't, so I might have to send an email to somebody to see if they'll answer my questions. But anyway, yeah, there's some delamination here, and yeah, this was the only instance of it that I saw on the rear hatch. Another bit that I saw here was there's this little bit of waviness on the seal for the rear hatch. I don't think that that was a really big issue, except for the fact that somewhere around here it looked like it was kind of smushed and pushed away a little bit. That was a little bit confusing to me because it looked like it should have snapped in, maybe it didn't. I boiled that down to they were rushing to get this done, and this was probably like the finishing touches, the make it look super pretty part was probably the last thing they were worried about. They were probably just worried about making sure that the stuff that they had was fitting well, and that the vehicle actually functioned, and this, that, and the other. So I can forgive a little bit of cladding here. Everything else was really well put together. It's just these little things that I noticed along the way. Oh, one thing I did notice here, for the people wrapping the vehicle, there was a little tiny bit of a fold here, and I could tell that it was there, and one or two other people kind of hinted at the fact that it could be there, and so I just wanted to make sure that I did see it, and I'll let you guys know that I saw it, so that those processes can get better in the future. All right, another thing that I noticed, this little bit of paint smudged off of here. I'm guessing that they were, again, in a hurry. They were trying to put this thing together, and it got bumped into something, it got scratched, it was slid through the wrong way, something happened here. But yeah, I did notice this little imperfection here, and this little rubbing around the edges. I'm guessing that was just them learning how to put it together. All right, and over here, I noticed that this little latch, this door release was kind of like, it wasn't, the distance between this section and this section from the top was different. So it was almost like the latch itself, when it was connected, was tightened out of alignment, I guess you could say. It's really hard for me to find the words for that, because I really can't describe it, except for I could tell that this part was wider, was thinner than this part when it comes to the distance from the top of that to the top of that. So yeah, anyway, that's another one that I noticed, and it was the last one that I noticed. So yeah, there were, like I said, there were a bunch of little tiny things, little details that I noticed that I just wanted to point out to allow the Aptera crew, in case they didn't notice it, even though I'm fairly certain that they did, to be able to improve those processes for next time. yeah, just wanted to make sure that was clear. I'm going to go ahead and end this video actually because I just realized that I've been talking for 20 minutes and it's going to take a while to edit. I might make this into a 3-part situation because as it stands, the stuff that I'm talking about here, all of the things that I had to talk about after which are probably going to be just as long. So it's either going to be a 2 or 3-part video series here. This time we talked about the vehicles at CES. Next time we're going to talk about the people and the exhibits, or we're just going to talk about the people and then the exhibits on the third one. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Ninjaneer. Hope you enjoyed this coverage. Please like and subscribe and do all the other YouTubey things, and I'll catch you guys next time.